Yamo bibia kwaba na yemfo ambra mega TV and platform we eso Mustapha Gbande edi nsimbi atodwa na wutie ensama oye deputy general secretary edema NDC amanyukuo no osansokra ewo national security operation in fact oni yewura omoka ne sen boachi COP Kofi Boachi no eno national security won mo ye adwuma na wura we di nsembi aba abonten edi ato 24-hour economy avenso waka ni pen esiso se NPP for pew omumpew Ablekuma North constituency elections no rerun no ebekoso enti so omugidi se omo issues a omode omumfa ho na since when eno muhu se isi no incompetent abusafo ensem de wura no edibia to dwa papa na meso se obejembre na wanya adaje na yeti nsema Mustapha Gbande odi to dwa okay FM one kwa me nkromatikese ade achimbia show no se koba na kaina ebeto aso yam platform so yankopon koso a ehiraw
Mustapha Gbande a deputy general secretary of the NDC. Mus me watching. Agibus me watching. Good morning. Winiso. Aha. Agimus abaso. Agimus, good morning.
Good morning, over next time.
Boko na also
Ambassador Mifuyo. Ambassador Kwame Tikasia.
Ye ni de.
Ye di tika na ka ho.
Mo de aka ho. Enura asema pie e ba ye ne se His Excellency Reverend John Dramani Mahama 24-hour economy a wo share bono o de aba na enura mete semo bo nwum no kra o de asempa na bo asempa no abo 24-hour economy signa ehun komote
ade papa ne adwempa eta mampeni na butaya owoma woman yi one NDC party atranse hu se ikura ye titire no obi ho kra ube sori na paso wo kwa adwuma adwuma 8 hours traffic na ade babia ni party ubaka so obedu adwuma kra na sefe 3 hours na eko ni wa adwuma mo hono demand e wo hono productivity no low. Uko hospital ayare for da ho because emra ye high will be emra da ense da ho no se 8 hours na obey jumanti 8 hours na ayare for no se wom twen na the following day so uko airport wa idi kan ho asem anajo na services ni bi apon annual mampeni adwin hu se SSC an overhaul of the framework within the period the ejuma say okay saying ahomacha anajo obi akoda no enam so obi antie commercial antie na ye de akọ enwommo ananse ye de akọ preaching senka Ghana for anajo na ye 24 hour na obi anna taxi for ye ejuma truck for ye ejuma because oko market night markets omo ton niema ntino amanfo beti okay FM you won't do music again you will go commercial edisi kabetu ni tobotum enipa benye ejuma oman no na ye titire ntinura omampenyi ebue hu edanadi abaye se abofra ya wo no afi ni ebe se diapers ni ahia mana na fencing na wiase edi humfa so but I think that the 24-hour economy is a good thing for this country say ye baby bim and now we port on my pilot 24-hour. Senka and Canino. Omu all right. But about 6 adanse anajo. Na custom system ye kulusu. Port yi nia o hona Japan. Na fi aka protectional services in kwa. Na si anso de. Container na bedu port anopai. Went me in anopai ya anajo. Custom officials betra ho. Aye ejuma, banks be ejuma. Na omotime you container amount. It is demand driven and a chain. So one thing leads to the other. And it is a port. A 24-hour economy traffic ebeba form. Demurrage ebeba form. And customers betting supply near mama womo and call for within the specific agreed time frame. Yes, no. And then you call more increase the lighting. For light now as a stadium. They have increased police visibility and protection. Also, what it means is that a lot of custom officials will be moved into that arena. A lot of security personnel will be moved into that arena. A lot of other government officials will be moved into that arena. And also says that people will now be employed to be able to give those services. So the chain gives employment, the chain leads to good public service, the chain also reduces traffic. The same as I've talked about hospitals. With the can say baby to say mokola sing and answer night markets are abababumi. Say ubi fi enti ababetoniama. And now say visibility honor light in oho. What do you see to bank? And I do bedra where you were the atoniama. And upon our way see mokono. Kwame nso na okọ ejuma traffic be reduce am obi ahwato no matise Ghana fu bi bisa say moba na mo man fisika to 24-hour economy ho adenti na afedie e diska bi ato ho. So what is our questions now? Hello,
Me ba cho ani wo so meet you.
Kwame, for every government policy intervention there will be some commitment of expenditures to it. There will be some commitment of expenditures to it. Kasa yedema a police for to increase visibility and patrol. A expenditure outside the usual police budget because it adds up to what the police would have to do. Ukaya many emergency at the time questions frequently asked about 24-hour economy. You know, if you look at that document, Ubehu said there will be some incentives, government incentives, companies who sign on to 24-hour economy would have to enjoy. Say, tax responsibility to be that Omuye feel one. It's a sacrifice on the public purse outside what you are doing. There will be some sort of interventions if you are recruiting people to augment the demand-driven policy. In the process of even the recruitment, you give them the tools and logistics. It has to come with a budget. Matise Bimoso Kase, Anna, Dumso Iwohi, Adentina, Infan Womenya license in the age. And when NPP people ask these questions, I get surprises. Does that mean that factories have stopped working? Because we have had a challenge of power. And the government should not seek to develop or overhaul the policy that we have to intervene in a way that the country would have to work day and night other than just day. I just think that in the night cell, no, gradually, 24-hour economy, yes, sir, yes, starting with a day. It is not possible. One chain will lead to the other. And I believe that in 6 months, Ghanaians will begin to see visibly. A Jubanwa policy na namba kasa amano. Say, the do be ebi an OKFM more than so yet one shift. Say do baby a team for those one. Some of them will be moving tonight. And can filling station so. Because lots of ejima, taxi driver ejima, bankers ejima, radio stations ejima. They will definitely buy fuel. So filling stations will work in the night. The filling station attendance will be increased from 1 to 2. The security personnel there will be increased from 1 to 2. The owner of the filling station will make money in the night and make money day. It develops a nation rapidly. So I am grateful that day in, day out within 6 to 7 months. Ya start here and near ma yene Ghana for akọ apam nyina omampanyin mpanyifo a womatsa ho adwenwen ho adwen wo man yie yedu to fomu a sabi betimi aboa ma Ghana nyina yeye Ghana that's ene hia yen. At the end of the day Ghana yeye nyina ne ho beto yen, and I think that we are on the right path.
Na Ankemus Mami radio we yeti budget se be aban twesika we earmarked for 24-hour economy no. Hello. Me say aban ebo sika bi se sika we na aban yeka to ho for 24-hour economy no.
I think, sir, in rural lands, all these matters were truly discussed. And I do know, sir, in the course of time, many Mpenifua, one secretariat through government communication and Ministry of Trade and Industry. Now, apart from the lunch, explanations be what policy no. You don't bob na omotimi ayi ano de amagana for na yina will be on the same page as we continue to work to implement the policy. So we will start me 24-hour economy. Na generator mi use abana rema me fuel na sanse bi na no asemo a abai mu mpanyifo bebe yi ano na Ghana fo timi ate wo mafie ni nyina yetimi akọ ene obia na behia budget we kaya tamo a started sadi we magazine enko 40 na msi boy sadi we kura de aboa ye kura de ye ntwan aban se adwin powi na da aban timu a ye kura de ye shafe and you come magazine there mechanics wa and kadeno about 4 who cars into me car or coffee ada and now you was set it lighter then call out in the age about 5 new set ever barber twasso into car after you out the aqua shop on I never know what is a real walk forward there okay baby. So all these things will be explained out of the policy perspective, sir. Ghana for better on here in due course. Say your lanchin and raya and tea. Science and beba. Na omude you no edia ba ama atif one so estimate one more.
Now, Mammy Radio, Mr. President, Kase focus no towards the private sector. Now, I mean, I want to say.
Well, sir, Oman Penny, the Unim that are on there. So, she said, you're here in Yama 2016. One of the legacies are you cannot, clean or erase his name from infrastructure foundation and industrial interventions and growth. And so, no, is looking at how to improve on our manufacturing, our industrial hubs. At the Asania Bayana, Ghana 14 produce near mana companies amanone etini abe set up within the country when we produce amayanya home faso oko China this year even American factories are located in China because of one cost of raw materials, two production cost. The end effect they say and near when we produce will be cheaper and serviceable to the market. And then so there's a package for the private sector or all of these interventions will be well articulated in the public engagements secretariat in the Ministry of State through the government communication machinery at the Babet Twabon thing to answer and to give a clear, concise, specific roadmap in other passo. Opeso enroller. To that idea, we move by one district, one factory. No? The fact that the policy is launched does not necessarily mean it will be a here. In the private sector, Opeso enroll a Kwamben or Befaso. All these things will come up as additional engagements that the Secretariat will do for deeper understanding and stakeholder, roll up to the program. And in due course, we now beba abonting Amagana for, but I do believe that really yes, the private sector would be a bigger and a major, concentration as far as the 24-hour economy is.
Na obi bisa se wo ba abrochira ma hodo so metimi abo ma hodo be 20 enye baabi nyina ena 24-hour economy no eye dwuma me fan say okay memra baabi ti say ebi a UK shop bi ana malls bi ti say Asda wonye 24-hour ubo baabi ti say shops bi ti say Halifax one 24-hour. Mimra Australia, baby shops which say Myers, baby over US a Target, Walmart, woman 24-hour. It when a sectorial and a ding.
We have always said, sir, 24-hour economy is demand driven and a chain impacting policy. One, it overhauls our time frame of work. Two, it's targeted at increasing productivity and supply chain. Targeted at reducing traffic and demand. And for example, a 24-hour economy will work at the airport sections. So, Kokuduka International Airport. I don't know. It's a Udu airport, baby. Banks, engage manager.
Say ATM.
Okay.
ATM.
You and your ATM in Tino, then you say there you won't operate other services. There are a lot of services that close, even before 9 o'clock.
Sure.
When you put the incentives together, now everybody can conveniently participate in the service provision. I also want to believe that it is not the same story if you go to say Wa Airport, where the demand is not there. The fact that the demand will not be at Wa Airport doesn't mean that the demand for customer service or service to the public is not at Kotoka International Airport. And policies usually are not targeted at what not to do. It's targeted at what to do to improve a certain condition of service or situation. And to the fact that ABA Anajo, for health reasons, we don't operate chobas in the night because people are sleeping. It doesn't mean that people don't work in the night. The target is to make sure that government creates an enabling environment for people to be able to function and to work on a shift basis because of demand, and also to be able to serve the public to reduce a particular challenge which is to increase production. So if you have a pure water factory, for example, and the demand in the area, they be able to produce an if there are incentives that workers bet me anante pi wo mfie akọ factory wa akọ yejuma, the factory owner is motivated by government to operate that factory based on some incentives available. Now, a pharma company, the factory owner will then employ more people. What it means is that instead of producing 10 bags of water a day, then you close, you end up producing 20 or 25, and then there will be consistent supply of that water to the public. So nobody will go to other places looking for water because they know that this factory has produced enough to be able to service the market. That is what it is about. And there's no ambiguity in these areas of understanding. And clearly, the fact that they will not need a policy like 24-hour economy, we need it most. Even in government services. And, you know, we have consistently talked about even hospital services. We have talked about the port, we have talked about the airports, we have talked about market and all of it. It's a chain. So when it begins to roll up, one thing will open up for another thing to happen. And so once those things begin to happen, you see that people will begin to get their feet. If 24-hour economy doesn't start, the taxi driver, the truck driver may not be working in the night in a certain area. So if you have consistent 24-hour economy in Sikwalebu and a rich hospital, where the hospital is open to what it does at day, doing same at night, the number of people who will move in that area will be very high. So because the hospital is doing 24-hour economy, taxi drivers will work, truck drivers will work. Through the increase in the service provision chain, other people will come up. People will come and sell things in the traffic. People will come and do this. And then it goes and goes and goes and goes. So once they rule out the policy and it builds up, you will begin to see the dividends and the gains that the nation will make out of the policy. But I think that one of the most wonderful policies in the century for our economy is Ejuma Beba. Ebema Ejuma, and it also increased the quality of service provision both within the private sector and in the public sector.
Na metwase ye kra ye hay kra no ye betumi aye night show to say ye ya ko bi o say wo ye adwuma wo ni time de tie nti enumere no anasa anadwo no ade a che bia betumi atoaso ye monnwom say ye wo ka no
so the mama bia makwaso say wo wie anapa we a okofiu e bia no akwa
e na Thursday obekọ neat awia
enti well, you know, now, you do baby, you don't have a choice because the number of people, the listenership of OKFM between the hour of, 6 o'clock to 4 a.m. in the night, and for 4 years, Juma, they will entertain themselves. After 4 years, Juma, they want to listen to radio. That's before they want. You will be compelled to ensure, sir, in the night, OK radio station is not playing music. You are doing adverts for people to hear. You are doing commercial for people to listen. And when this is going on, you would be able to increase the security man at the premises from just day, thinking that in the night the traffic is low. So you augment the same level of security. You increase more security guards. You have to employ more journalists. And through that, every other essential staff of OKFM that works at day, the same batch would have to work at night. So if 10 journalists didn't have a job, because there's service to be provided.
Yeah. Okay. Now, my member and come for swear. Ablekuma North. Ababe CN say rerun of some polling stations been near the idea. Na matitin komobi say yes mo say mo kwa mo anyi antum but per the electoral commission e krata ode ba bonte no afenu no nyina mo agi atum say mo nko run sa polling station na mo ade up na afa ye declare winner eti say
I think so basically ndra ye di hu komona NDC they are maintaining always said about what I call 2024 December 7th. Ablekuma North one constituency NPP 4 years and anka omu via edifim. Clearly no munim say Ablekuma 4 and to abama for candidate.
But not until it's declared no. Ultimate kase no person we abadi obey we say.
That is no say adi na come the opposed kun one yesterday politics ana.
Me ye papa.
Now you teacher pe.
There be
yeah, the man, I try to because our candidate now or no.
Now, my main cousin back on show. You union na me mate be. Me money is a big man pa. And over catch him so almost percent an SRC treasurer na one pet. No, but I'm saying that then I may and I'm so should I say obey na da ye ready manifesto no. Me ba be gina kase me ne me roommate. Mudis kanuma na obi
no dance here.
No be gina kase mudis kanuma na obedi o me roommate. Says an entoma.
Oba ai Ablekuma North ai ye candidate aho mame Rabna Obeng. Party na group no are prepared for an occasion like this. Woman no eti Ablekuma North for enim no so ban said ye ojo no hojo said ye we ye na juma fa enu nti no mkoto aba no ema no ba kwin za o we enyina enim se campaign a ekoye sisifia no mkoto ye no nde o ye dancer no all start to say Michael Jackson or bu ni sisi enu ono no enim se abanya no wo mu is being alleged that she was involved in visa racketeering.
Pacho Mr. Me Pacho William. Uncle Mr. Yan redraw him Pacho. Why?
Yeah, no.
Sir, visa racketeering, whatever.
Me
Pacho Mr. It's being alleged, but Sabi Obaka said, Mama Quine ama wa publish it on truth and then falsehood
about him, super evidence.
Eti wadawma yanchi one sign mami why near medase
ana afi ye koye election CI 127 and regulate the conduct collation declaration of results and a law requires ye use carbonated pink sheet na carbonated pink sheet no ayeso ko chaluto a wa chaluto do we no no be no chaluto no obama duplicate of the same nti wo wini a wa dance ya o de ba be use kane duplicate na e wo wunsem no
yes
and I say original na the amount no duplicate no mo de be film ade ya serial number de ya booklet no ya be so we wini na we wini na ye do baby no na NPP 4 kofa electronically transmitted pink sheet so wo mo de wo mo ekura wo pink sheet a obi enimba be efiba na no na EC empanye juma because EC couldn't account for the pink sheet and am say basa ya e course wo ho NDC so ni pink sheet ni bi e bi nso ye wo bi and MPP for no mo but ye ni nyina so MPP for the intentionality yamfa wo mo ayi pink sheet na wo mo ayi electronically ni yamfa declare election no and also enter emra no ho is not contemplated in CI 127. So if EC cafe, young run election need be more. So for example, na examine na neba so results na liki enti another actually yet say answers na liki enti a counselor. About coming, we a good student, you prepare yourself and go back for the election. NDC is always ready for an election. Because we believe that in one accord as a party, we'll go back to Ablekuma North and speak to the people of Ablekuma North. Now, yeah, and Bobo, near Komanim, near Papa Wamacho, near Noma Kasa, near Ton, a Baywana, a young woman, I didn't say, so be the woman in one and in Guasibia Ma. Obedi woman ni mu a anyunyam na be kohonum so obedi woman ni mu a dachimma ebe no so ban e dia develop as a woman over time Yɛde ɔmmɔka kɔka ne aka ɛwɔ mo. Yɛyɛ deɛ wɔ ɛrehwɛmu sɛ sɛ yɛkɔ election na wɔn bɛto aba ama yɛn. Because Ablekuma North ɛka Ghana ho. In the last 8 years, and near my film, and also the Umisa evidence, because Ukraine is an example of an experience, maybe, and the evidence in and now. Near Yakum or how our man Yakum said, Yanya Papa or Krabby president. Now, or how, or then I young for down for the Yakum. One day, ya Papa, or Safuba for me, we are sky train fencing. Sky train papa na me ya openya me ya kumfi. O hwe wo pa free ya kutu. Ya papa fo kwa na omde akọ ha mu a emrante ne mmaba wo a Ghana wo munye adwuma nye ekom na de enti wo hwe aban we ya pressure da aban so no is because obi a akomade ne fia napa eduru enumje no wanya aduane yanni na okoda no maame no obeha no tisi asa how no obeda aban we so. Ghanaians have not forgotten of that. Say aban bi aba ye 8 years emrantie ne maba wo a yeyi wo mo so wo mo meso man boni a wo mo die kum eniema wo mo aye suban a wo mo de na die ama in fact Ghana for no power say the democracy beni. Ghanaians have not forgotten. Say woman buy yes woman ye policies. Say na policy schemes are woman do huska. And woman check Ghana can woman di to say kura eniura. Ablekuma North eka ho. Under President Akufo-Addo. Say the local government crowd dey na collapse. This is for no mun twa mu yi. Beli say yede common fund akọ ni etimi esi toilet and say road and hospital e wa Ablekuma North 8 years NPP anye akụkọ buo mpo e wa Ablekuma North ni aka say omo develop bibia wo mu gina ho e di aka say wo mu pe vote e wo honum ayi 8 years a wo mbetna so o kai wo mu vice president almost flag bearer for the 2024 election. Say almost is toilet. Yeah, be ko wa kwa ko bi sa Ablekuma North for say. Ba umya toilet no mu bi ana. Oh, enti when you say no. Yeah, be susu ba ko ka say. NDC yeah ba ye 6 months ni. Oba kwa me ni wadi ka kasa asem wi under President Mills. Nan ka say ani e di series e de ko ya papa alaji drusu mama committee ho ade ne ebe ko chef kwam kumati kaze ambassador ya bama ne titi san say no tie say the dress ya celebrity or send shoes yi we are heading na say the amount 6 months ni enya appointment President Akufo-Addo betra so na afei ena na ogbugbo di ministers di obeka ya don ogbo abugina po no de school din ato ho ba san so bo ati no de school din ato ho. By this time, your new appointment, Kwame government was formed. And then, within 6 months, we are already feeling as if the government is an old government. The economy is turning around, inflation is coming down, dollar have been stabilized. It has never happened in the history of this country. You know, we are a governance, Kwanubo, Abafom, Nadia, Usoria, and yes, I buy me penny for Naviaska, Abayamen penny for Tata and Kofa, Womulia Ganeska. The reverse is happening. Yabeka, those 19 polling stations, because they are Ghanaians. The hardship of yesterday becomes the burden of the NDC today. And we are trying to resolve that. The people of Ablekuma North knows that. Matter the NPP for some press conference. No problem. But the Academy expects some demonstration. Because they will not. They are not capable. They are not ready. They don't qualify to contest an election because they know that it won't go well. Now, everyone is talking about NPP. And for miserably, it never happened in the history of our country. They did not go into sober reflection. They did not go into consultation. As we speak, women in Kiminto and the grassroots to go and apologize to them. So women and power and women by and so woman and women the opposition. Almost have opposition for 8 years. They are not doing that. Women last engagement are almost woman yet. She can't share the problem when also their own evidence. Says school colony one second. You know, these kind of people, and then one party are disintegrated, no leadership, no direction, no focus. How can they contest in an election? So they will find excuses to say that, and because EC have sought to do what they want and it didn't work, so they will not participate in the election. That's what they are going to do. But yet, we are asking the Electoral Commission to allow the people of Ablekuma North to have a member of parliament. We are asking the Electoral Commission to not allow a repetition of what happened to the people of Hohoi. Because when they did that to the people of Hohoi, they saw the ramifications in the subsequent election. We are asking the people, the Electoral Commission, to ensure that the will and mandate expected of the people of Ablekuma North is manifested. So whatever it takes, no party should be given an advantage over the other. If we have to go back to the strength of our political parties, the advantages that we have, I don't see what NPP is going to say to anybody, including the people of Ablekuma North at this time, said that should be a basis of voting for them, because minority will go and sit at Yoko on the ground, or they will walk from parliament to police station, or yes, then they will go and convert at the police station. That is why we should take them to be a better, alternative. No, because the NPP have not come to recount and denounce themselves from Bonia, President Akufo and the Ghana for. The NPP have not done that. They still defend the atrocities, the fraudulency, the defeat, the dishonesty of President Akufo's regime against the people of Ghana. To the extent, indeed, a Japanese document we are taking a document. Now, Mammy, we saw the NPP.
Akufo say so na ban woko. Eti wadina ban kwa wie no sese no ono no wodi ne be fremu a the next elections ne Ablekuma de say onye a factor to say yenka say ebi anipa be hwe so e de atoaba
no ka ta do the president ko no notice here of Frank for be to mo support ba
me ba cho minim saasema make me
not only a politician. NPP only, everyone down here. So all another big bonia. Now, what you say, ma or yankaka or ma.
Eji, Agibus, and near person Busan say, so Ablekuma Diano, must settle on what? Police stations, I would send a moko to Abano, per the money electoral commission, share, and Sherry say.
Almost 19.
Yeah,
electoral commission, the free. And then the end one was the NPP for electoral commission. But or by four any issue, or by four issue, it's not real. NPP for any issue is not real. They're the almost 19. But all we want to emphasize is that in good faith, we are ready for any election.
Oh, okay.
As long as it will test all of us, test the strength of our parties, to make sure that democratically an MP Ablekuma North surfaces, will go and follow suit. But what they wanted the Electoral Commission and the NDC to fix, we couldn't have allowed that. Because even things are on the bamboo. And for what before we are signing about Bontown because they know we are signing. So how do you use those things to declare an election?
Okay.
Whether they said 37 and they said 19, we will go for the election. If it is one polling station, we will go. NPP should prepare if they are a political party and join suit, except that they don't have the goodwill. They are not organized enough to go for any election. But we will go. We are ready to go for an election as long as it doesn't break the law. It doesn't cheat anybody. As long as it gives opportunity for Ghanaians to vote again. The only constraint is that the people who have voted before, if they are able to come back the trouble, or mess up the team, that's how about Mama. So that's the only way. Ubi a obekwe eja, obeja na eju. Now I see line what trouble. And now I'm saying here or mine don't know. They will come and vote. And now to almost person and petrol any representation in parliament, they will come and vote. We will plead with them to come and vote. So if the NPP is a political party, let them also believe that elections resolve conflict. But to go and use manufactured, fictitious team sheets, electronically scanned, when there are no duplications or carbonations to it, that one is not a law. It's not in CI 127, and the Electoral Commission couldn't have done that anyway. So I don't see what their problem is. NDC is ready for an election. And the Omega said, by election, by Omunko.
Mate,
There we go.
Mate, Nana, Mammy Fow and see and Comuna, Bibiani and Mefro. May claim appointment in so, Madame.
Let her know.
I'm a letter.
I said, India, a prime minister. Maybe I knew a do India, sir. Maybe some of Panama.
Mate, Mama.
Yamizra.
Oh, Raddy. Mustapha Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in the NHN Commonwealth. Amamiwe. End point. Homeopathic clinic. There be a member who they will na a sign adanse pa mehunu miama kobi.
So this is Ensema Mustapha Gbande editor Ebia. Na utie ni nkasa yema na chese. Se die in fact sa 24-hour economy no. Ho enema ni nyina mo hyase so mo ya ebeboa kasa ne de mo betimi aka na se be ya mo be implement no enna sisi aya asemo se be ya mo be implement no eno ho ena yeden ye adwene ho because mo kasa be bre na ewiachi na implementation ni nkoyi a ho de yentwe mamo nti NDC for talk less do more. But one thing okay me the bia meka NPP for we know they are trying to behave as if as a spoiled child. Omunimpa they know very well. Say na the easy no kwanya na easy ni nam so no enye. But when say anti omunum kasa because of say ne e favor omunti. I've said it and I will say it again over and over. MPP say omo no munim say easy ni to say easy ni to much. But she say easy ni so we're taking a decision or ye bibia within his powers or within her powers to secure her seat. Or ye bibia so bet me secure the seat. What in a mature nasi? Or ye bibia so bet me secure the seat. Enti mamo said this time around mobile command the electoral commission na obeding obekase obefimo because baby edru ni die ayedin baby edru ni die ayedin mo ye ho hwe ye eno ani se obi jai sa na ye court ye say no na ma comply na ma to aba no. But one thing ye me bisa ni se sanye ade bi ana sanye bibi ena nan MPP for ya esi dan na omusuru so mbese ato aba ni bio, because nkofo moto ye no they are the same people who are going to vote, and ebia na se bi ebinum afiri mu, ebinum so yare, ebinum so tutu kwan, and this edin na asesa. Nothing has changed, and this nothing has changed. She knew asesa I was away motwe ho dare yenti ase o yenyidin o yenyese o. It is sad. It is really sad. It's ebe yanka people won't comply. Nemboamo. People should comply. Nemboamo. What I say? NDC Mustapha Gbande in some more kind of idea. Many yardri, but 24-hour economy no. Said the mama plan is about bayana no. Uma Ghana for ye needing. Yen feel na yen pesi be we no. Over the stories be abebraye and I implement it. Na dey ni say a whole lot of stories. Yen pesa ade no. Yen pesa ade no. Yenye den yen pesa ade no. Inti yesere mo ada. Yesere mo ada. Make sure say mo be implement it. Na aboye nyina. Because utie nsemo mo kan dia na chese ade ne ba adwuma beba kurom. Ade ne ba enkofo botom be de enkofo benye adwuma ye, and you will enjoy. I think say sa na beba tino. Amefa we see trawadwin e comment section ni. Median mega. Bye bye.